Child, they done released the photo of the alleged assassin of that UHC CEO guy, Brian Anderson. It's very much a given. He's a good man, Savannah. He's just going through some things. He's having a hard time. Bitch, I'm about to die. Whoo! All right, you white motherfuckers, all eyes on me. This is the I Refuse podcast. This is the Fox of YouTube I Refuse podcast. Oh, wow. Look, I know I've been gone for a while from YouTube, almost a month now. I'm back. I'm gonna try to keep it going through the new year. It's been wild for me as a creator since the passing of Quincy Jones. That's why I took a sabbatical from the YouTube channel. But trust and believe, no matter what struggles I'm having, being a content creator, video-wise, the I Refuse podcast is still available for free wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Overcast, iHeart, Spotify. We just released a new episode yesterday. Sometimes I do produce episodes over there early. But for the I Refuse podcast YouTube channel, it's gotta be something big for me to even speak on, or something troubling, right? I could have come to you guys last week to talk about the UHC CEO's murder, but my energy was low. You know, I'm in the gym 5-6 days a week. And, you know, this is huge. This is, in short, very revolutionary, right? And I went into great detail as to every different angle that is possible from the murder that happened last Wednesday in Manhattan, right? How slick this guy was, how the event in and of itself flipped things for, I would say, a short while, right? It is one of, the reaction is one cynical in nature, one empathetic in nature, apathetic in nature, because a lot of us, whether you are a person that's older than me or a person 10 or so years younger than me, people are sick of corporate greed. People are sick of relatives and friends that they know that are constantly getting a lot of denials for something as important and as financially small, comparable to like a major surgery, you know, inhalers, you know, and while it's ethically and morally sound to be of the attitude that at the end of the day, a man's life was lost. Family lost their father, a husband, a cousin, a brother, a nephew, a grandson, and that's all well and true. But the more I live on this earth, the more I realize that movies such as The Purge, such as those quarantine movies. Looking back, those weren't just movies; those were premonitions. There is definitely a such thing as too much of a good thing is not good for you. And as much as y'all, we would like to say a lot of the shit's cliche, at some point when it comes to being sick of greed and capitalism and scraping at a job such as this person that allegedly gunned down the CEO, who this Luigi guy, according to his LinkedIn, worked at an assisted living facility. That for it to come for the a protest of this magnitude to come from within the community that a UHC or an Anthem or a Blue Cross Blue Shield works with, because they not only work with like hospitals and ERs, they work with senior citizen facilities, they work with urgent cares, inpatient, outpatient, like even like smaller clinics and stuff like that, right? So for the alleged killer to be somebody that is from an institution or a line of institutions that are in direct connection with these major corporations, that that's very deep. It and it further fuels one major theory. I mean, technically, it was an insider job. I mean, it wasn't somebody that allegedly wasn't like in competition with this guy. But this was definitely somebody that comes from a community of workers, whether it's a nurse, whether it's a practitioner, whether it's a dental hygienist or something, that has probably seen enough denials or received enough calls from these places wanting their money back, has seen enough swift changes or swift requests that some of these companies, and this is stuff, I've heard testimonies from people on TikTok that used to work in these hospitals and these facilities, telling stories about how the company would approve a procedure, to only then turn around 2 or 3 days after it's been completed, asking the office or the facility to return the money. Could you imagine that from your relationship as a person that buys insurance, has a relationship with this company, or just any insurance company, whether it's medical, dental, vision, auto, y'all have an agreement every 6 months or every year, and you know how much you're paying because it's laid out. X amount of money is taken out of your paycheck every 2 weeks for this percentage of coverage. This is the ratio. This is how much you pay out of pocket, this is how much we cover, yada, yada, yada. You have procedures, you have dental cleanings, you have eye exams, things that you're told needs to happen just to make sure nothing pops up, right? And at any point, aside from denials for stuff that you need done or inhalers that you need, medication you need, aside from the markups that tend to happen with medication you may need to maintain and sustain a day to day life, you got this going on. And, senior citizens, people in assisted living facilities, senior facilities, have more days behind them than they do in front of them. The cost of living is getting higher and higher by the day. The only money you have coming in at this point is SSI, retirement, Social Security, and which they keep dangling that in front of our faces, every 4 to 8 years, that it may not be there by the time we get to retirement age. You got all this fool la la happening. And you got this guy who is a Baltimore native, went to the Gilman school, and looks like a Towson bro. Saw his picture. His name. When I saw his name, I was like, this can't be real. This Luigi Mangione. My first thought was, he is not a first generation hitter. I think he comes from a long list. As soon as I saw the name, the first thing that popped into my head was clearly the line from Wait and Exhale, where Savannah's mom is trying to reason with her to continue to see this man in the movie that's married, not separated, and is fucking her brains out. But then the next clip that came to my mind after that was, it's an old clip that I saw on TikTok from when OJ was, they green screened it. But I think it was from someplace else where the guy's like, he was a nice guy. But what about the murders? What murder? I was thinking about that too. Because here's the thing. Like, by day 2, which was last Thursday, not even 24 hours since that man's body dropped in Manhattan, some of y'all on Twitter were lusting over this man. Just off of the Starbucks surveillance camera thumbnail or screenshot. Grainy, still had a hood on. They say he put his mask down because the barista asked him to. Saw a smile. Y'all instantly thought this dude was packing. Now that we got clearer pictures and we got like stuff from IG, you couldn't tell me that's not true. He looked like the type not only to have an ocean liner, and be well past 9 p.m., if you know, you know, that he will nail you to the cross and leave you on red. But I ain't never in the history of my Negro life come across a living, breathing human being by the name of Luigi that isn't 50 years old, 50 plus, fresh from Italy. Yo, we got a whole Luigi out this piece. And I'm willing to bet a lot of y'all will fight tooth and nail to get Luigi out the castle. This is about to be the next prison based situation. Mark my words. Luigi, Mangione, they own you. And not to like get some kind of like petition going, a hashtag. Hopefully that Kim Kardashian will latch on and use her abilities to free people, just like she freed or it actually wasn't her that did the work. It was like a group of black women that did the work and got no credit. But that girl that was prostituted and trafficked. I don't know if they're going to go to that degree. If I know my gays like I know my gays, um, they're going to try to find any leaked photos, any OnlyFans, and really share with the rest of the world. But I had a feeling this was a protestable moment, like thing. When we got to the part that there were words written on the bullets, I would have secondhand embarrassment. Like, a CEO got taken down by a Gilman bro. And, like, what I would like to know is how he knew where this guy, where Brian would be, what time, the specific place. Because he didn't work this, I can't believe his government name is Luigi. Didn't work at UHC. He didn't work at UHC. According to his LinkedIn, he worked at a assisted living or senior citizen facility. And looks all of about 26, 27. Pulled a Robin Hood for the century. So now that we have, because y'all were quick. Sometimes y'all use y'all keyboard for good. Y'all keyboards for good. Y'all done found this man LinkedIn, photos, IG, which narrows down the different possibilities that I explained on the episode that dropped yesterday. I Refuse Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. That it wasn't an affair, like that goes out the window. It wasn't a person from within the company that got fired. We can throw that theory out the window. It wasn't a jilted lover, although that would have been spicy. Because sometimes that happens too. Now yucking anybody's yum. This is literally some kid that worked at some facility that probably had enough of the greed and the capitalism. And I get it and I understand it. I don't condone, nor do I justify what he did. There's a difference. The cognitive and the comprehension is what's stripping y'all up more than anything else. But The authorities got the alleged killer, after 6 days. And what done him in was, see, the first chapter of this was was really exciting and fascinating. Like, you literally left the scene on an e-bike through one of the busiest boroughs in New York City, allegedly. A city that is heavily surveilled, and I felt like you knew this, hence why you kept the face mask on. You studied, and you trolled with the Monopoly money in the backpack. You went to the Starbucks beforehand. You really made it like a regular, fit-in, everyday kind of thing. You really was out here before you gunned down this dude allegedly. But you didn't lay low. Like, you didn't lay low long enough. What did you win? What got you caught up and arrested on the spot was a McDonald's worker. And people in the comment section was like, hating ass. And I low-key kind of am siding with them. And in my mind, I'm like, they probably thought $10,000 was retirement money. And, there is a small percentage of empathy and cynicism that I have with me. And I think it comes with age. There are some of my Facebook friends that are older. I feel that way. They are, and it's something that society does to you. Like, you have people on the other side of the aisle that are, and I can respect it. They show you who they are. They're greedy. They're arrogant. They're narcissistic. They're about self. But at least you know what time it is, right? Then you have those in the middle that say in words they're about one thing, but the reality shows something different. And then you have us that are like grounded, that will not sacrifice character to fit in and all that other stuff, and are about family, about nurturing, about pouring into others and pouring into each other and being there for each other. So for this person, for this to come to a conclusion at the hands of a McDonald's worker, I'm hollering. Because I'm like, your priorities are messed up. You should be focused on the shake machine not working. You should be focused on making sure those fries are fresh. You should be focused on, if you haven't yet, you're $15 an hour. I have been of the mindset that I mind the business that pays me. Like, and it probably was like some 20-something-year-old that just couldn't leave well enough alone. Because quiet as it's kept, the best we had at the time, as far as likeness and photos or a possible sketch, was some grainy photos. Most of which he had his mask on his face. You couldn't tell. But something tells me that Gilman bro, Luigi, probably played into it. Which, you gotta see, if you committed a murder, or even if it's alleged that you committed a murder, you gotta do like Harrison Ford did in Fugitive. You gotta lay low. Only come out at night. Like, keep your presence known under the city. And you don't go to McDonald's, though, in broad daylight. Like, New York City is its own thing, but trust and believe, people are scratching and surviving in Maryland. Like, even the air is expensive down here. And you took your ass to McDonald's, and a McDonald's worker dropped a dime on you. Because all we had was a face and a hoodie. Something in that interaction confirmed to the worker that it was you. And I'm willing to bet that Luigi probably gave some nonverbal cues. And it was a wrap. Now the authorities have you. You better use that good Gilman money, that good North Towson money, that I'm going to theorize trust fund money. Get with the Cochran firm. Don't speak. Look, I've gone to the college of first 48 and law and order in 48 hours. So now you don't say shit to the police until your lawyer gets there or your legal team. But man, this is one for the books. Like, yo was so comfortable and so chill that he didn't leave. Maryland is not that far from New York City. He came back home. He didn't go to the West Coast. He didn't go up to Canada. Hell, he didn't even catch a flight and lay low in a country or a continent that has no extradition treaty. This motherfucker came home and went to McDonald's. Had that been me, I would have had everything shipped. Uber Eats. I even would have got my groceries from Amazon. You ain't seen me nowhere. But Gilman bro came back and got comfortable. I'm still like tickled about that e-bike escape. Oh God. Oh my goodness. That's what tickled me. But IFP's podcast YouTube channel is back. Luigi Mangione. Man, they got you. Or do they? This is one I'll definitely keep my eyes on. In the meantime, I'm going to be switching gears a little bit. There I was minding my African American business. And apparently, a person that was 12 or 13 years of age in 2000 alleges not only in a civil lawsuit that alleging that not only did Diddy SA them, but Sean Carter as well, allegedly. Now, for the most part, the comment section is saying it's about damn time. Because a lot of people have been seeing the pictures from apparently the evening of those freak-offs, where Jay-Z is there, Beyonce is there, J-Lo is there, so on and so forth. And from that, people surmise that Jay-Z and Beyonce are next. They've been saying that for like at least the last 6 months. And I read the statement from Roc Nation. I saw the name of the lawyer that is speaking and representing the Jane Doe. It is very much giving, this lawyer is very much giving me what that producer back in February, the lawyer that he got, the same lawyer that represents like 4 or 5 other people that was facing, and I talk about this on the YouTube channel, who was facing like Rule 13 or 15 violations. It's very much giving another witch hunt. Ever since the walls were closing in on Diddy, so to speak, y'all have been working overtime with pulling out old photos, pulling up old videos from back in the 2000s, the 90s, or whatever. You know, showing Diddy next to Jay-Z, Beyonce, all these different people at a party that you can neither confirm nor deny is the actual party where the freak-offs happen. And y'all have spun up into various rabbit holes. More so on Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship, or particularly the age difference. And spun up these theories that borderline on libel, that Sean Carter was grooming Beyonce, even though Beyonce was in her early 20s when she met Jay-Z and started dating Jay-Z. Beyonce had a whole boyfriend that she was in a relationship with since high school named Blendell, up until the time she was, 20, 21? So this whole grooming thing, and you know who's doing it? People that weren't even alive, probably was like 2 years old when Dangerously in Love came out, don't recognize Beyonce from earlier than self-titled. Only at the most recognize DC3 as the elite chapter of Destiny's Child, throwing dirt on DC4, the original members. And I'm not having that. But we're not talking about that. We are talking about some untruths that have grown legs about these two. None of us were there. Y'all have gone on this thing for most of 2024, and maybe even earlier, with this theory that because they went to several parties that Diddy has thrown, which he has had a reputation for throwing the best parties, y'all naturally assume that these parties around the pool are one and the same with the freak-offs. And thus, by association, and this is what cancel culture is about, because they were associated with Diddy, they too are part of the problem, or part of the scheme, or this predatory thing that preys upon yacht girls and underage minors and all this other stuff. Trust and believe that there is a theme that continues well until what looks like 2025, that these lawyers that give off that they went to the Gloria Allred school, where it's more a PR thing than a legal thing, are trending and have been for a while. The idea is for them to push and push and push until they get what they want. And unfortunately, because public opinion has the say that they think they do, that it may or may not sway things. In a lot of people's eyes, Jay-Z is guilty. A lot of people's eyes, Beyonce is guilty. But all of this is just another example of, the moment the wind blows a different direction and people are hating on you right now, means that they've always hated on you. And they never liked you, never valued you. And unfortunately, with this Rock Nation statement, it's only adding more fuel to the fire. Diddy did his statement when Cassie filed, only to then turn around and settle. And then we all saw how that played out this year. And understand that, like, Jay-Z has probably like the top tier legal team ever. It's not probably going to make it to court. There really isn't a lot by way of specificity in this situation. If you are a Jane Doe and you are coming forward with allegations from something that happened almost 30 years ago, after they've caught Diddy in their crosshairs, you've added to that bandwagon by saying, oh, Jay-Z has done this as well. But then you say it happened in view of another celebrity, but you don't name the celebrity. But all targets from you are on these two men who happen to be worth billions. We're a little over a calendar year from when shit popped off against Diddy at first. I feel like this is going to be a yearly thing. And this will probably come and go like everything else. We'll see. I don't feel one way or another about this whole thing as far as Sean Carter and Rock Nation and all this other stuff. Because we've gone in great detail over the past year on the YouTube channel about previous occurrences of allegations and group filings by one lawyer and the lawyer having violations and all that other stuff. And we not hear anything else since. No disclosures, no settlements, no court dates. Because trust and believe, anything that happens in LA, and maybe anything that happens in New York City, we would have heard about it by now. But it's very, very early, so we'll see. So, I don't think it'll hurt Jay-Z at all. But I also think this is not the last that we've heard from this Busby guy. Rock Nation poured a little tea out about Busby in their statement, which leads me to believe that somebody on that team over there is very, very shady. Very, very messy boots. Yeah, some of these lawyers have a reputation for being ambulance chasers, so to speak. Just looking for anything they think will lead to a come up. It doesn't have to be meridious, doesn't have to be legally sound. It can just file a civil lawsuit and see what happens. Do y'all ever think about that? Like when y'all see Gloria Allred and her daughter doing the same scripted stuff in front of a lot of cameras and microphones, and they're telling their story. Time and time again, they come and go, come and go, come and go, come and go. Ain't you tired, Miss Millie? Ain't you tired? Because I know I'm exhausted as fuck. So, we shall see. January is around the corner. 2025 will probably be a continued theme of 2024, where all lies will be exposed, all secrets. And we shall see. But in the meantime, I'm back. So back, baby. It's Fox Refuse Podcast, YouTube channel, podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Usual Suspects Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, I Refuse Podcast After Dark, I Refuse Podcast Twitter and Blue Sky, and Instagram. Link in the bio. We'll catch you guys later. Peace. Fendi, like the bag. This is the I Refuse